Hey, what's up everyone, this is Portugal here, and today we're going to be doing a hopefully very short video on an actually pretty important topic. And that is, if you saw the title of this video, hibernation. Now, if you watch some of my ant care species guides videos, you were probably familiar with the fact that I do not hibernate any of my ant colonies in the present day, but I have done so before. And although I don't do that currently, I think it's something that most people actually do when they keep temperate species, the one that can hibernate. And I think it's very good that people that only keep temperate species actually hibernate their ants, because first of all, it's thought to prolong the lifespan of your queen in that colony, and second of all, it gives you a sort of a break and a little vacation, a little holiday from the hobby, which is nice, and especially beginners that don't know how much patience will be rewarded in this hobby. I think it's very important for them to be able to stop for about 3 months of ant keeping. Now, to properly hibernate your ants, what you have to do is, first of all, you make sure they do hibernate in the wild, right? You have to be sure that species hibernates, because some species are technically temperate, some Mediterranean species, they should be considered temperate because of the region where they live in, but since they live so far south, or in places that are so much affected by global warming, that they have completely lost the ability, or at least the tendency, to hibernate. And one other thing is that hibernation can sort of fail if your ants are sort of, they've been warmed up for a lot of time and they've gotten used to that warmth. It can fail and they can fail to hibernate. So what I'd say is make sure they hibernate in the wild, and then check the winter temperatures where they live, right? If they live in your area, it's perfect because it's your winter temperatures. The next thing you're going to need is a cool place. Now, fridges may be too cool. You have to check that. You have to know what temperature your fridge is, and you can probably find it somewhere inside of the fridge, a little thermometer that tells you that. Or you can put them in a garage or some part of your house that is disconnected from the main house in some way, and gets the temperatures that they are outside, or at least very, very cold temperatures, because if they warm up, they're not going to hibernate. So what I would suggest is you find a place where in the winter you get the temperatures you need, right? Then you put your ants there exactly, or I wouldn't say exact because that's not an exact date, but somewhere in the month that they should be hibernating, because some ants start hibernating in November, some start hibernating in October. So check that. You can find all the information you need online, and it will probably be correct. And also these timetables, their bio clocks, the bio clocks of the ants are sort of flexible, so you can get around with kind of messing up on the month. Well, if they should start late October, you can get around with the beginning of October, but if you start September, they'll probably freeze to death because before they're able to hibernate. One other thing I would say is you check on them very often after you put them there, and then you can leave them and just check on them like once a week, as if they were queens inside of test tube setups. Then when it's time to wake them up, you bring them in to your warmth side of wherever you're keeping them, and what you want to do is, if you can, raise the temperature gradually, right? And within a week or 2 weeks, you get to the temperature that they'll be keep that during the normal year time. So if you don't have the possibility to gradually sort of wake them up, you can always just bring them in, and if your house is warmed, you put them outside, so they take the warmth from outside first and then the warmth from your house, so at least you have a two-way jump. And if your house is usually at outside temperature, then you just bring them in and you wait for them to wake up. Now, it's very important you check on them every time, and during this time it's very important to try to feed them, but be very, very careful about the cleaning process, because probably they're not going to wake up properly for for quite a while, so you won't be getting as much feeding action as you would expect, and you'll have a lot more sort of not used food and not consumed flesh of insects and whatever you put in there. So that's it, I guess. I would say it's very important to give them sugars right after hibernation. I find that most ant species are very eager to take up some carbohydrates after hibernation. I guess that makes some sense. And if you have any questions about how to hibernate your ants, you can always leave them in the comment section down below, and I'll try to get back at you as soon as I can. Now, I know this video came sort of late for people trying to hibernate this year, but with this video up, I'll try to remember to make one again, or sort of re-upload this one, or just tell people to come watch this one next year. So see you later. I hope you liked it. I hope it was useful to you, and share my channel, share this video if you found it useful. So bye bye, see you next time.